Good morning. It's morning for me anyway, and here I am in the lights, like I promised, yay. Pardon my messy carport, like I said in the other video. I'm clearing some stuff out, and it's made it to my carport. And eventually it will make it to its future home, wherever it may be, but for the time being, it's existing behind me right now, so sorry for the clutter. We kind of live in this carport in the daytime. It's shaded, it's nice, it's breezy. Right now where I'm at, we're in the throes of summer, so that means we're seeing temperatures that are ranging between 102 to 105 right now. And I don't have air conditioning in my house. It's a very old house. It was built in the 30s, and it has a swamp cooler that, works until it hits about 100 anyway. So we stay outside a lot. We play in the water a lot, we water plants a lot, and we keep ourselves cool that way here. As I mentioned yesterday, I'm going to be 40 in August. I have 4 biological children. They range from the ages of 20 all the way down to 6. I got started early. When I was, the day before I turned 20, I had my first son. And we are exactly 20 years and a day apart. He and I spent a good 8 years together, just he and I, until, my next children were starting to be born. Never been married. Never married any of the fathers of my kids, and there are 3 of them. I am different from most members of my family. I have always marched to the beat of my own drum, so to speak, and done things in the way that I felt they should be done, not in the way that I was told my whole life they should be done. I grew up a pretty standard American. My family was upper middle class. My parents divorced when I was a baby, and they both remarried when I was still a baby. And I have had disappointing step-parents in my life. My stepfather pretty much entered into the relationship with my mother saying, well, she's your kid. Not my problem, not my worry. And, it was kind of one of those, like, if I asked him, can I go outside and play? I don't know, you're not my kid, go ask your mother. So I didn't really have a father figure on my mom's side, which is who I lived with primarily. And then again on my dad's side, he married a woman that resented the fact that my mother and I were there first. And she was abusive, emotionally, mentally. And going over there was hell for me as a child, because my father, bless his heart, he was always driven to work and to go to school and to better himself in order to better himself for his new family over there. So he was never around when I was there to visit. I was left alone with her and her children. And yes, so my early years, my teens, my early 20s, those were a mess. I was insecure. I had no self-esteem. I had a lot of issues. And one of the things that I found at a very early age that started to help me cope was writing. I have been an avid writer since about 11 years old, and I write to myself in a journal, and it's kind of like this. I'm just talking, having a conversation. There's no person in mind that I'm sharing with. I guess I'm sharing with myself. Sometimes I joke that I write or I talk to myself because I'm the only one that really listens. And, there's some truth to that. I was counseling myself through my experiences and through my hurts and through my emotions and through my pains. And I was also formulating who I was, what I wanted, who I wanted to be, and at 11, I knew I wanted to get married and have some kids in a house, because, how much further do you really think at 11? But, it's just something that I got into doing. And I now have a box in one of my closets that is full of notebooks, and sadly I lost over the years a lot of my childhood writing, but I do have from, you know, my very early 20s and up, I have notebooks filled with all of that, and I still write every day. I will probably go and write when I'm done making this video, because that's just what I do. It's part of who I am and how I learn. And it's my hope now too that once I'm gone, these notebooks that are filled with my life and my growth and my perceptions and my thoughts and my feelings and just every detail that I've recorded, they'll pass to my children and to my grandchildren and their, you know, grandchildren. And I'm hoping it'll be like a legacy, and they can all read about mom or about grandma or about, you know, whatever I am to these people, and learn who I was and how I got there and what I thought. I don't know, it's something I can give to them, and, you know, my memory, my thoughts, my words, my energies can continue on, even though this body of mine is no longer here to keep doing that for them. So that's, you know, something I look forward to. Anyways, yes, divorced parents, grew up, you know, upper middle class, very comfortable. We did not struggle financially on either side of my family, and I was pretty much groomed, especially by my father, who, you know, is big on education. He went all the way through college and acquired his doctorate, and is a professor and a superintendent, and has done really, really well for himself. And I've been, you know, told that I was to attend college and to get a good career and to get a good house and 2 nice cars and have 2.5 kids with a man that also was college educated and had a career. And yeah, I didn't do any of that. That was not in my particular cards. Again, I had a baby at 19. I was off and running, and my son was the best thing that could have happened to me. Like, if anything woke me up or put me on my path, it was having him. And his name is Ethan. He is my best friend in life right now. We do have that, you know, forbidden best friend relationship. We support each other. We love each other. We laugh with each other. We make videos together. He's like a little version of me sometimes. And I'm grateful for that. And I'm still his mother. I'm still the boss, and he knows this. And I still hold the reins. You know, that dynamic does not go anywhere. I'm the one in control, but he is the co-parent with me right now for all these other kids that are in this house, and all the other beings that are in this house, because I keep a very open house policy. The 3 fathers of these 4 kids, they are all allowed to come and go as they please. None of them are with me romantically. I won't do that again. It was, you know, each and every one, there were reasons. They were great lessons, great experiences, and they got me further to here. But they are things I don't wish to repeat. However, when you have children, it's my belief that they deserve all the loving adults that they can have in their life. Like, you hear that term, it takes a village to raise a children. Well, these are my children, and yes, they require a village. They are all highly spirited little things, and they're great. I love them. Like, being a mother is the best thing that has ever happened to me, and it is definitely what plopped me straight down on my future path and got me to where I am. And I don't just have my children. I adopt, not legally or anything, but I take in kids, all ages, you know, young adults, small little ones, if they need watching, if they need help. Problematic youth that can't seem to find a niche in society and are out there causing trouble because there's angst at home, or because they are lacking in that self-love that I was so lacking in for so long. They're my goal. They're who I try to reach and who I try to interact with, because they need to learn self-love. And it's a hard thing to learn, especially when you don't have much of your own self-love to start with. It's really important to have somebody come along that says, but wait, I love you. And I see all this greatness. Why aren't you seeing it? Let's hold up this mirror for you. Let's take a look at you. Just let's really look at some of this. And that's kind of what I do. I've had some of my son's friends move in and stay with us that needed just some extra help, some extra guidance, some support. You know, I was watching these kids just kind of fall through these cracks, and society was about to lose them. Their parents were about to lose them. They were about to lose themselves, and I can't stand to see that happen if I can in any way prevent it or help. So that's kind of what I do. I was fortunate to work in a field where I got to mentor a lot of small children, same thing, that had difficult home situations, difficult home life. I love kids. I love kids, I love adults, I love humanity as a whole, really. Like, one of my favorite things to do is to just sit downtown and drink my coffee and watch people, and just watch them be, watch them do, watch them interact with each other, watch them be goofy, watch them be not so goofy, just take it all in. And, you know, if I can, I try to help. I try to offer an ear, some sympathy, some advice, some words of encouragement, a shift in perspective. That's an important one. Getting people to realize that, well, okay, that's one way to look at it, but I was doing that. I had that experience, and I learned how to look at it this way. And then they're like, oh, didn't think about that. So, you know, that's also what I try to do. I am on Facebook a lot. I am very active. There's quite a few groups that I participate in. I started one of my own groups on here. It has to do with astrology. It's called Oops, My Pisces is Showing, and it's not really geared towards strictly Pisceans. You know, I started it because like a year ago, I was having these very deep emotions, and I was going through some things and working them out, and I felt at times very alone, very isolated in my emotions, and like people just couldn't understand the depth that I felt and how it was to be me. And I started to think there have to be other people that feel this with me. There have to be other deep thinkers and deep feelers that oftentimes feel as isolated as I do right now. So why not start a group where we can all kind of hang out and be deep together? And so I did, and I invited, you know, anybody and everybody that I knew that was under that particular sign, but I also encourage anybody that is just a deep feeler to be a part of it, because, you know, we're not alone. And when you feel and think as deeply as I do sometimes, it's, you know, it can be difficult. It can be difficult to love yourself. It can be difficult to find good things about yourself to love. It's difficult for some of us to look at ourselves in the mirror. I know for me, that was a struggle for so long. And even now, it's, you know, something I'm still working at. I took a lot of self-esteem damage in my youth, so that's been something that I've been working really hard to repair in myself, and to learn how to love what's in here again, and to make it come out here. And so I guess maybe that will be the point of this video today. Self-love. I mean, we all kind of know what self-love is here in this group anyway. I imagine we all understand the concept and how to kind of put that into action, and how important it is. People in my family call me the black sheep. I mean, obviously. I don't follow the herd. All my brothers and sisters, they pretty much grew up and did what they were told to do. They all acquired college educations to a degree. They all acquired spouses with money. They all live a very comfortable, very middle class, you know, existence. Have the house, the cars, the trailers, the 2.5 kids, all of that. I don't. I never went back to college. I decided that wasn't for me. I found jobs that I loved doing, and I did them as long as the universe deemed that I was needed in that particular spot, and when it came time to change, I changed with it. I've been employed at home for the last few years because I had small children that weren't in school yet, and I didn't have a car. I don't have a car, and so, yeah, it's, I guess you could say financially, in financial circumstances, I'm kind of poor. But I don't see it as poor. I may lack money, yeah. I may not have as nice of things as my family members do. But I'm rich in ways that they don't even know exist. And that's heartbreaking to me because they miss so much. I'm rich in my life. I'm rich in my experiences. I'm rich in the souls that I encounter on a day-to-day basis. I'm rich in you right here, talking to you guys, sharing all of this beautiful experience and story, and comparing notes and learning from each other. They wouldn't be on here doing this. They don't believe like this. They don't think like this. And if that makes me the quote-unquote black sheep, then I will graciously accept that. But what I've learned recently, or not so recently, I don't know, I've learned, is I don't use that term, black sheep, to describe myself. To me, it has a kind of a negative connotation. It feels like I'm an outcast, like I'm not of the herd, like I, don't belong with the rest, and I don't like that. These are the people I chose to be born to. And when I look back, obviously, I chose to be born to them so I could come out this way. Like, I knew going in, somehow, that there was going to be some strife, but that it was okay because I needed it. That was the beginning of my inner strength being established with that, I chose these rough experiences in my childhood and in my teens to make me strong and to teach me over time, to love myself and to turn into this person that I have become, that I am becoming. I mean, I'm not done yet. I'm only 40. I've still got half a lifespan to go. Imagine where I'm going to be at when I'm 60, 70. If I keep going at this rate, I'm just going to combust into a ball of light or something. But, I do view my family, they are a herd. They are all very much alike. They cloister together. They like to talk about each other, especially about me because I'm different. And they never know with me what I'm going to say or do. And hi.
Hi. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Oh, I'm good. Thank you. Sorry, I thought I paused that. Oops. Anyway, that was my neighbor. Back to my story. Where was I? Okay, they're like herds. They're like family. I got sidetracked. Hold on. Okay. I don't want to call them the sheep. That doesn't seem nice, but they are of that mentality. They flock together. They share like-mindedness, like views. They don't really understand me fully, and I am a bit of an enigma to them in my ways and my doings and how I raise my children and the way I choose to live. I've been told, marry for money, find a man with money, and I just won't do that. My mom did that. And look at the stepdad I got out of it. She married for financial security. She wanted a good life full of material things and a man that could give them to her rather than her having the ability to go out and get them herself. She turned over that control to him. And I learned from that. I don't want that for myself. I don't want a man just for his status or his money. or my financial security. The universe takes care of my finances for me. And when I find I'm worried about making rent or paying this or that bill or whatever, it provides. Something comes through, something always does. Or I make it happen myself. I generate an opportunity myself. I find ways. I'm creative. Anyhow, though, back to the flock. So, black sheep, don't like that term. How I choose to perceive myself in this family that I was born into is not so much a black sheep at all. I'm not an outcast. I'm different, yes. But I like to think of myself as the shepherd. Every flock has a shepherd. And what's the shepherd's job? It's to watch over them and to take them to newer, better grazing grounds. Something different. Something they've never experienced before. Somewhere maybe they've never experienced before. And the sheep may be reluctant. They may not want to leave the ground that they've been on because it's comfortable and it's good and they know it's there and they're secure in that. But the shepherd inevitably says, nope, come on, follow me. So that's how I like to think of myself in connection to my immediate family. I'm the one that's like, no, there's a different way. Let's look over here. Follow me this way, up this path. Let me show you some new things. Let me show you some new experience. Try this grass. It tastes better, and because they're never sure of who I am or what I'm going to do, inevitably they follow. They do watch and they do wonder and they see. And so in that way, I'm kind of a living example to my family members as to how to open up a little bit and to maybe share the love a little bit more and be less judgmental and more open-hearted towards strangers. I I see myself, especially lately, I've been real big on tell me your story. That's been something coming out of my mouth more and more and more is what's your story? I want to know it. I want to know your details. I want to know what got you here. I want to know what you've been through, your joys, your sufferings, everything that you've been and done and seen. I want to know. And I just want to know what makes you you. And then I can tell you what makes me me. And maybe we can, go back and forth and dialogue about that a little bit. But I'm really, really into the thought that we are all our own star in our own story. Every single person is the lead role in their own little movie. And that's what I want to find out is what's your movie? What's your role? How are you the star? What do you do? What excites you? What wakes you up every day? What's your sole purpose? A lot of times when I'm trying to work with people on loving themselves more, I talk about that sole purpose. And how I define that for myself is it's the one thing that's in here. It's the one thing that makes me me. And if you strip away, sorry, there's some people yelling across the street. If you strip away my house, my kids, my job, my details, if you take everything of that's in my material existence right in front of me, remove it all, what's left is just me. And what's in here is why I'm here. And I realized a long time ago that I'm here to teach people to love themselves and to be appreciative of everything we get to experience in this world, the highs and the lows, because it's all connected and it's all there to serve us in our growth and our, I guess, way to excel here and move up from this existence. I don't know, I believe that we choose to be here. I believe that we are all astral fluff, for lack of a better description. We're all knowing, all seeing, all connected, but we don't have these bodies. We don't have these five senses. And in order to be in this existence, in this now, you have to have a meat suit. Just like astronauts have to wear a spacesuit to navigate space. You have to wear a body to navigate your soul around this area because it's all three-dimensional. And the only way you can navigate is with these five senses that this body gives to us. And so that is how we are able to perceive and experience on this planet. And we chose to do this. We chose to come down here and learn some shit. We chose to come down here and smell flowers and drink coffee. Like, you know, coffee. I love coffee. I love black coffee. It is, I probably love it a little too much. Like, when I try to tell people not to be afraid of the word relationship, because that connotates love and commitment and all things scary and potentially harmful to us, right? Well, I have a relationship with coffee. I have a relationship with my coffee pot. I need it. I mean, it might be a little codependent on my end, but a relationship exists, and it's a good relationship. Coffee is one of my favorite things, the very smell of it. When I go to a coffee shop, you know, I love walking in because that smell just punches you in the face. It's so good. So I love coffee, and I completely forgot my point that I was making. Oops. I do that from time to time. I have all these thoughts that just shoot off in my mind all the time, and I want to share everything, so I get overzealous and I just start going off on these random tangents. But anyways, yeah, coffee. Coffee's good. I'm gonna take a drink now. So, self-love is why I'm here. Part of my purpose. Having others become aware of how beautiful they are inside and out, another part of my purpose. Teaching people that the things that hurt us are there for reasons. And even though it's awful, even though none of us likes to feel emotional strife or pain or hurt, they are just as necessary for us to feel and experience as is joy and love and growth. They're all very equal parts to the same learning dynamic. You can't have one without the other. There is a balance in everything that needs to be maintained. And down here in this planet, in this realm, those experiences that you go through and endure kind of add to that balance. You have your goods and you have your bads. You have extreme highs. Birthing my son, my oldest, the first baby to have, you know, the second I spoke and his little head turned towards me and gazed at me, there's no other joy like that for me. That is this far unparalleled. That feeling, that emotion, that love, you know, in that very second, I was his forever and ever and ever. My heart was devoted to that small little creature. And that small little creature is now bigger and taller and, you know, an adult. And I'm still just as devoted, and I'm still just as proud, and I'm still learning from him. And he's learning from me. You know, we're going through this experience together. And, you know, that's really all you can ask. That's your family. You share and you love the highs and lows. You know, being cheated on, being broken up with, left, abandoned. Those are some of the extreme lows. And, you know, I had extreme lows growing up. I still have them from time to time as an adult, but I also have this appreciation for those points in my life because, again, they got me here. I've been told, you're so strong. I can feel the strength coming off of you. I can feel, you know, that solidarity, that genuineness, that rawness that's there. That's there because of the things that I have had to endure, both good and bad. It hasn't all been bad, and it hasn't all been wonderful either. There has been a variety of mixtures of emotions leading up to me in this point in my life. And it was a lot of writing, some meditating, some reaching out to others like you, some people found me and reached me in times where I, needed something or someone. The universe always has my back, always. I think a thing and it happens. I speak a thing and it happens, even as little and random as I may think it is at the time. Like I said, me being here, all very synchronistic. All the steps that led to me meeting Alex and being here, and even before that, making these videos. When I kind of look back at the last 2 weeks, it's like, whoa, wow, okay, everything for a reason, right. And that's a big part of what I believe too, is there is a purpose to every experience we have. Every experience is a lesson for us, a chance to grow, a chance to expand, a chance to share, to connect, to inspire. I make these videos in hopes that they reach somebody that needs this energy I'm putting out, that needs the words I'm utilizing, that needs the thoughts I'm sharing to help wherever they're at in their day. And, if one person out of the hundreds that may see this can take something from me and from this, then, my purpose is served, and I'm happy in that. And again, too, doing these also helps me. It helps me face my barriers. It helps me utilize this throat chakra that's been silent, I think, far too long. I, will express in writing. I've told people on Messenger, writing is my natural form of communication. I'm not much of a talker normally. I prefer to write. But this is good for me. It's good for you too. It enables me to push my own little boundaries and show myself, hey, you can do this thing that you've always been kind of scared or kind of insecure to do. Look at you doing it. And in all honesty, I make these videos and I watch them all throughout the day. I will watch this one probably 3, 4, 5 times throughout my day today, just to listen to myself and watch myself and see what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. And sometimes I actually learn something from myself. So it works, and I'm super stoked to be in a community of people that kind of understand this concept and do it too, and share alike. So yeah, I do wing these. I try to think about what I'm gonna talk about, but then usually I start talking and everything comes out how it will, and all the premeditation in the world can't really help me. I just do. He said raw and unadulterated. Well, this is it, baby. But yeah, don't let others paint you out to be the black sheep just because you're different, just because you march to the beat of your own drum. Sometimes that's our purpose. I've been thinking lately that perhaps part of my purpose is to rattle my mother up a little bit and kind of force her to look at things in a different perspective. She's a very closed-off individual. I don't know exactly what happened to her in her life that has made her so angry and hurt and jaded on the inside, but she is. And, when I was younger, this caused us to bump heads like nothing else, because I'm a very bright, very open, very sunny person, and very little gets me down, and I don't like to focus on negative, and I don't like to give in to my fear voices that try to take over, where my mother, that's all she seems to know how to do. So I'm starting to think at this point in life that part of my purpose is to try to heal some of that in her and show her that it's okay to have some faith, and that it's okay to believe in good and to believe in yourself. And there are times she thinks I'm stark raving mad because I've moved these teenagers into my house when I don't have a job and I can barely afford to feed my own kids, and what am I doing moving more in? And she thinks selfishly, and I think selflessly. I'm moving them in because they need a home, and they need good environments, and they need positivity and love and laughter. And my home may be lacking in money, yes, but it is a abundant in laughter, and it is abundant in joy, and it is abundant in comfort. You know, you can be you here. We encourage that. All we ask is that you not be weak-willed and weak-minded. You know, my oldest likes to say this is not a house of weakness, and in some degrees it's not. You know, we're very positive people here. We don't like to give in to the negative. We don't like to focus on the bad. We tend to try to make everything into a positive, even the negative experiences. We learn from those. We accept those. We grow from those. So those are just as looked for as the positive is here. And that kind of selflessness is really hard for her to understand. And, you know, she just, she's very judgmental. I talk to homeless people on a pretty regular basis. There's a lot of them downtown. A lot of them are hungry. A lot of them are struggling. And a lot of them have incredibly heartbreaking stories that explain how they got there and why they're there in this state that they're in. And people like my mother wouldn't see them, or she'd see them and think, oh, there's another drug addicted junkie, and keep going. You know, she would never stop to talk to these people. I share food with them. I share cigarettes with them. I buy them coffee. I'll get them water when it's hot. You know, I try to help as much as I can when I can. And even sometimes just sitting and being understood is incredible for them. And it makes them feel like people. And, you know, when you're out there trying to survive in a society that's going to treat you worse than they treat their domesticated animals, you know, that's a hard existence. And I feel like these people, more than anybody, deserve some love and some compassion and some positivity in their lives, because they're suffering and they're struggling in a way that I'm not. You know, I may have my little problems and my financial worries or this, that, or the other, but, you know, I'm good where I'm at. I have a strong family. I have a home. I have a roof. I have food coming regularly. I have clothing. I have a shower if I need one. You know, I'm fortunate and very blessed in these situations where a lot of people aren't. So I don't take that for granted. I appreciate. Whereas my mother, you know, it's different. So, yeah, I'm unique. I've always done things how I felt they should be done, rather than how I've been told they ought to be done. And that does make me different, and that has given me some struggle in the past, especially with my family and being younger. But, you know, as I said, I'm at a point in life now where I'm older and I'm wiser. And, you know, I'm happy in my existence, and I'm happy in my situation. I'm happy being alone right now for the first time. There's always been this need in me before to pursue a relationship, to find that partner, that soulmate, that person that's supposed to be out there for me. And lately, that fire seems to have banked, and I'm not really looking for that love anymore. I'm not looking for that one person anymore. I'm not meeting people and thinking to myself, are you him? Could you be him? Oh my gosh, you might be him. Because that kind of that leads to problems. It's trouble. If there is a one out there, I have no doubt he's out there somewhere, and he's doing his thing. He's following his path, and he's becoming himself. And what I like to think is he'll see me one way or another. He'll see me in person. He'll see me in a video. He'll see a picture. He'll hear my words. He'll feel my energy, and that will be that, and he'll come. All I have to do is wait, and I'm good on the waiting. I really am. I am enjoying life to its fullest, being alone and being independent, because, you know, I'm never alone, really. I have my family. I have these children that I brought to my world for me to love and have love from. I have you guys. I have lots of other friends and lots of other groups And you know, I'm making more every day. This is not just gonna stop. This ball is rolling, baby. It's gonna go like a snowball downhill. It's just gonna gather and gather and gather and gather. And then maybe at the end of all of that, yeah, there's a partner for me. Yeah, there's a husband or whatever, you know. But that right now doesn't seem to be the big end all be all for me. You know, I'm good with it. I'm good without it. I'm kind of just like, whatever, universe, I am wide open. Wherever you stick me, wherever I wind up, I'm good with that. And I'm good with, you know, where I'm at and what I'm doing. And I have faith that it will all work itself out for the best for everybody, as long as I just keep going and keep learning and keep sharing and keep reaching, keep connecting, keep feeding this, and surrounding myself with folks who also do this and bring this up and out. Like, that's what we all want, right? We all want to grow. Hi. Give me just a minute, okay?
What are you doing?
I'm making a video. Do you want to come say hi? No? Okay, I'll get you some breakfast in just a minute, alright? Or, you know what? Ask Ryan if he'll get you your breakfast started. Oh, okay, then I'll be there in a minute. Let me finish up. Alright, sorry. My children are awakening and breakfast is calling, so I'm gonna wrap this up. This is not the first time I've been on a really good tangent, like a really good roll, and then one of them walks out and totally throws this off. That's a lesson in patience. We'll talk about that in the next video. Children, do they teach you patience like no other? But it's, you know, all out of love. I love my kids. I love the interruptions. I love being broken on thought, because then I'll just talk about something else that maybe someone needed to hear. But anyway, I had better go and start some food for this little guy and check on everybody else and kind of wrap this video up, because I know I'm already minutes in. I will be back. This is almost as addicting as my coffee, really. Like, I just love talking to people, I guess. And yeah, I hope to exchange with more of you soon, and as soon as I have things to talk about or ideas or just a little bit of quiet time in which I can talk and try not to be too interrupted, I will definitely be back. So have a lovely day, everybody. Much love, much light, much laughter. Keep smiling, and I will see you all very, very soon.